money what keeps this thing going, but it's not about the money. So it definitely helps. I ain't gonna lie, it helps because we do get a check for doing that and all that, but it costs a lot to run. I mean, I just made a post the other day, and that's one thing I say about my fans is that I'm always truthful with them. I have a lot of people that were on the internet and was saying he's got too many irons in the fire because, I got Justin Swanstrom Racing, I got Swan Gang, I just started up Swan Golf, we're doing the podcast, I'm doing all different stuff. And the reason why I do that is because I am trying to generate revenue to be able to keep racing. The racing is my main focus. That's what it is. I know a lot of people think that I'm focused on other stuff, which I am, but
you have to.
I have to. So I made a post up because, I was truthful with everybody. I've spent $532,000 this year to run, what are we at, race 7 or 8? That is everything. 75 grand went to Cameron at the beginning of the year to update prenup because the new car is not done. Mm-hmm. So, but I had to spend it. I had to do that to be able to do it.
And he just bought a new Cadillac. He just took that money and just.
I feel like I've bought Cameron a couple cars. I think that R8 that he had, my name should have been on the title, but
at least on the plate.
Yeah, it should have been something.
JSR plate.
I didn't even get to ride in it. No, I tell people all the time, man, it costs a lot. So I was very honest in my post when I said, when you see me do stuff like this, it's not that you think I want to be up till 4 or 5 a.m. trying to make sure everything's right. Do you think I want to be stressed out to the max, figuring out what I'm going to do to be able to try to get funds to keep moving forward? Yes, we have sponsors, and I have good sponsors. But the sponsors only go so far. Once that money's gone, it's what it is. I still have to make an income for what I'm doing and to be able to keep moving forward. And when I seen that number, I ain't gonna lie, I was sick to my stomach because that's just a lot of money to spend on this deal. But on the upside of it, I'm okay with doing it because I do get to meet the fan base. I do get to travel the country. I do get to go to these different facilities and have fun. And my family, we get to have the memories with it. So even though I complain about, spending that kind of money, after this podcast, I'm getting on a flight to head to Colorado to do it again. And we're going to be racing for the next 8 weeks. But I wanted people to understand that I do these other platforms and what I got going on to be able to functionally run this platform here. And that's where people don't really understand it, or at least I don't think they understand it.
So, I mean, you don't have to get into this at all, but if you were to look at a pie graph of your income, how much of it do you think is from the show versus your own side deals? I mean, you don't have to talk about that at all.
I mean, no.
Is it 20%, 30% of the show is paying the bills, or, I mean, who's paying most of these bills? What
avenue? I would say the show is probably 10%.
Really?
Yeah.
So your contract
is
only 10% of that.
Contract would be 10%
of not that you've spent already, but just in general of what you spent.
So, and it may be even a little less if I really broke it down into it. I mean, this year I'm spending a lot more money than what I'm doing, but merchandise is really what keeps me going. The online merch is what does. Everybody that buys, and that's why I tell people all the time, every post that I make, I put on a thank you. I mean, thanks for the support, what you got going on, because I do really mean that, because without that, I wouldn't be able to do this. Yeah. My online merch is what keeps things rolling. Plus, YouTube, Facebook, and then sponsors. And that's why I wanted to do the podcast. One, I like talking. I like, being able to interact with somebody and hopefully being able to ask them questions, get them to answer and stuff. And it's also going to give us another avenue to be able to reach out to my sponsors hey, we could do a sponsored video. If we can get, 40, 50, 60, 100,000 views over here, that's 100,000 views towards your company as well. So I do think about different things and try to come up with new ways to be able to generate flow to keep this thing rolling.
Yeah, I think that's what people don't realize. They're like, oh, he's doing all these other things, but it's no, creative funding for his racing program. Like
Yeah.
I see it as like you were selling stickers on the side of the car. Like that's a creative way to fund your program, whereas other people are just sitting there struggling to even go a little faster because they don't have the funds to do it. Whereas you're getting creative
Yep.
and finding ways to make those funds, and
it
sometimes
does.
it takes some trial and error. Like some things
It
may
does.
suck.
Some things I flunk on, and that's it. But there's other things that I do really, really well on.
You need hundreds of failures to have a success.
For sure. One, and I tell people all the time, I know a lot of people, and I say this in the most humbling way possible. When I do come out with something, it seems that like a lot of other drivers take it and run with it.